Part 82. I started my cultivation by picking up the immortal skills. Author, Banzuan Xianxia. Chapter 811. Such a big movement caused all the innocent Yuanying elders of Yaluo demon sect to rush towards the city gate. However, Luo Yanran did not go there. She needed to stay and take charge of the overall situation. Yu Tangzi was by her side. When Luo Yanran couldn't make up her mind, she could give her own opinions. At this time, Xiu'er came back. Xiu'er, you haven't left yet? Hide quickly. Yu Tangzi said very seriously, if something happens to Xiu'er, who knows what will happen to Nangong Yin? Elder, I'm fine. I just left the sect and there was an explosion at the city gate, so I came back quickly and won't go to the Demon Moon Forest for the time being. Xiu'er explained, and then said, who dares to attack our Yaluo city? Do you want me to inform my father? No need for now, wait until the elders give back information. Luo Yanran seemed to be sitting calmly, but in fact she was a little nervous. After all, this was her first time encountering such a thing. Unheard of. That's right, there are not many forces stronger than our sect. The Demon Seal sect is now on good terms with us. The other devouring demon sect, and Matai doesn't know what sect they belong to. The other sects, even if they are not weak in strength, are not such courage. As the previous sect master, Yu Tangzi is very aware of the pattern of Yusha realm. Could that be a monk from the Peepa realm? When she heard Yu Tangzi say that the Yusha realm was impossible, she guessed about the Jendao sect, but as soon as she said those words, she thought of Feng Anhela who directly shouted her name at the door. By the way, senior sister, elder Yu. I met Wang Meng at the gate of the sect earlier, and he was stopped by the gatekeeper disciples with the righteous nascent soul monk. Yu Tangzi didn't take it seriously and said, Wang Meng probably wants to see Wang Shu, so don't worry about it for now. We'll talk about it later when things are clearer. No, that's not what I meant, Xiu'er said quickly, I have never seen that righteous monk, but she directly called out my full name. Xiu'er's words made the two of them suddenly widen their eyes. Many people know Xiu'er. But I know Xiu'er's last name. Apart from the Yuanying elders in Yaluo demon sect, the only one is Luo Yanran. Even Wang Shu doesn't know. Because of the surname Nangong, there is only one Nangong family in the entire Yusha realm. And a righteous monk actually knows. Yanran, you are here first, Xiu'er, you lead the way, the purpose of the righteous monk's visit must be understood. As soon as the words fell, Yu Tangzi grabbed Xiu'er from the void and flew towards the outside of the sect. Almost at the same moment, Luo Shuling gasped and appeared in front of Luo Yanran. Sect master, something bad is going on. Mom, what's wrong? Seeing Luo Shuling's disordered aura, Luo Yanran's heart tightened and she asked quickly. The sect master is the puppet-controlling demon sect. Their entire sect is dispatched, and tens of thousands of puppets are attacking the city wall. We can't hold on any longer. After Luo Shuling finished speaking, she pretended to leave. When she came back, she sent the news back, and then went to resist. The main combat power of the puppet-controlling demon sect is on the puppets. Under normal circumstances, they will not release all the puppets. Therefore, the puppet-controlling demon sect does not show off, does not reveal anything, and usually keeps a low profile. And this time, it was beyond everyone's expectations. Luo Yanran was only absent-minded for a moment, and Luo Shuling disappeared. At the same time, outside the sect, Feng An he did not leave. He is not stupid. Such a big movement is obviously not the time to leave. On the contrary, it would be safer to stay in the puppet-controlling demon sect. But now, the gates of Yaluo demon sect are closed. Wang Meng, are you going to find a way in with me, or are you going home? Feng An he calmed down and looked at Wang Mendao. I, stay. Wang Meng couldn't tell the situation clearly. He was only in the Dan formation stage, but listening to Feng Anhe's words, it was obvious that he wanted to stay. Rather than going back to be alone, it is better to stay with someone in the nascent soul stage. Furthermore, if he ever enters the sect, he believes that for Wang Shu's sake, the female cultivators of Yologo demon sect will protect him to some extent. Just as he made his decision, two figures suddenly flew out. One of them is Xiu'er, and the other one looks like he is only in his 20s. But the aura all over her body was countless times more terrifying than Xiu'er's. Visit Tangzi. It's them. As soon as Xiu'er finished speaking, Yu Tangzi waved his sleeves, rolled up Feng Anhe and Wang Meng, and returned to the sect. Fellow Taoist, I am introduced by Zhu Yun. Feng Anhe knew that he could only tell Zhu Yun's name at this time. Such a terrifying female cultivator definitely knows Zhu Yun. Sure enough, Yu Tangzi froze, but she didn't say anything. Talking about anything else at this time was a waste of time. But Feng Anhe didn't know that. He continued to yell, and after finishing what Zhu Yun asked him to tell him, he also appeared in front of Luo Yanran in the sect master's hall. Whatever Zhu Yun asked you to say, you say it again now. Yu Tangzi's expression was extremely solemn. Do you know Zhu Yun? Luo Yanran was also slightly startled, but then felt relieved. Zhu Yun had a wide circle of friends, and knowing someone in the nascent soul stage was nothing. Looking at Feng Anhe's submissive appearance, Zhu Yun must be an enemy rather than a friend with his temperament. Anyone who was tough in front of Zhu Yun was killed by him. We know each other, I came to Yusha realm for the first time with him. Feng Anhe told the story again, and also mentioned the conflict between himself in Juyu land and the puppet-controlling demon sect. Of course, he still had something to hide, such as the matter of Sun Qiniang. However, he still told the truth about his identity, which made Xiu'er beside him couldn't help but widen his eyes. This person who can call me by his name is actually my brother-in-law. Am I his sister-in-law? It turns out it's you. Yu Tangzi naturally knew about what happened to the Demon Seal sect back then, but he didn't say anything more about it. Instead, he said, you said that the puppet control demon sect attacked you for no reason. Elder Yu, Luo Yanran suddenly said from the side, Elder Luo just came back with news. The ones attacking Yoluo city this time are people from the puppet control demon sect. What? It's them. Yu Tangzi was also in disbelief. Combining the information from the two parties, they could not find any point that could connect the two things. Could it be that, the people from the puppet control demon sect disappeared, and then they thought it was our Yoluo demon sect who did it? At this time, Xiu'er whispered from the side. Hearing this, Yu Tangzi slapped his thigh suddenly and said in a deep voice, it's possible, sect master, you stay here, I'll go over and take a look. After saying that, Yu Tangzi disappeared. And it's 50 miles outside Yoluo city. Dozens of nascent soul cultivators were sitting on the ground with different expressions. They are all the remaining nascent soul elders of the puppet-controlling demon sect. How much more time will it take? A demon cultivator with the oldest face said, he is the supreme elder of the puppet-control demon sect. As early as 300 years ago, his strength had reached the peak of the late nascent soul, and the 9th generation magic skill he had cultivated had reached the 5th level. When he learned that Yu Heng was dead, he was immediately furious. Then, news suddenly came from the devouring demon sect, saying that someone saw Nangong Tingfeng of the demonic seal sect taking action. So the puppet demon sect began to investigate the news and found out that Nangong Tingfeng did not return to the demon seal sect after the battle between the two realms, but stayed in the Yoluo demon sect. Therefore, they thought that Nangong Tingfeng was in Yoluo sect. I don't know, we encountered resistance from the Yoluo demon sect. They responded very quickly. Another person said, if Yoluo demon sect didn't do this, I would look down on them. Where's Xianxia, did you show up? The Supreme Elder asked again. Not yet, but the Supreme Elder, Xianxia of Yoluo sect has abdicated. He had already informed our sect a few months ago. The Supreme Elder snorted coldly and said, I'm only looking for Xianxia. Other than that, no one else is qualified to talk to me. So, did the female cultivator from the Nangong family show up? Another person said, Sir, Supreme Elder, you also knew that Nangong Tingfeng didn't recognize this woman at the time, and later he kept her at the edge of the Demon Moon Forest. So, before he finished speaking, an extremely terrifying aura suddenly came over Matai. The Supreme Elder narrowed his eyes, but did not get up. To him, Matai is just a junior. Elder you, I didn't expect this incident to alarm you. The evil thoughts took away a complete Matai, but all the memories were preserved, and he immediately recognized who this person was. Humph, Matai, why are you here? Could it be that you want to take advantage of others' danger and destroy the Yoluo demon sect? Ha ha ha, Elder you, are we, the devouring demon sect, like this? This time I just came alone and stopped by. Just you. Elder Yu was slightly taken aback, somewhat confused as to what the Matai in front of him meant. How did he know that the person in front of him was not Matai, but a hunter? I started my cultivation by picking up the immortal skills. Author, Banzuan Xianxia. Chapter 812. A month ago, evil thoughts trapped Yu Heng and others who were visiting in Matai's retreat and imprisoned them. The only person who knew about it was also devoured by evil thoughts on the spot. As a result, no one knew that Yu Heng and others in the nascent soul stage finally disappeared in the devouring demon sect. Because evil thoughts needed to devour their power to strengthen itself, it took half a month to devour them one by one. When he came out, he had recovered to the middle stage of the nascent soul. Such a fast speed made the devouring demon sect people very happy. Under the deliberate promotion of evil thoughts, they held a celebration banquet. While some elders in the sect were drunk, evil thoughts took action again and followed the same method, first subduing a group of elders, and then subduing the younger generation in the sect. Finally, it took another half a month to completely devour them and turn them into his own power. Before that, he revealed the news to the Yukui demon sect, saying that he saw Nangong Tingfeng and Yu Heng and others clashing in the Nine Netherland with his own eyes. He learned these words from Yu Heng and others. After a little modification, the people of the Yukui demon sect were convinced and verified. Under this situation, evil thought acted very smoothly, provoking the anger of the Yukui demon sect against the Yoluo demon section. Finally, when they heard the news of their all-out attack on Yoluo city, evil thought rushed here. Nothing else. Just want to fish in troubled waters and devour some more cultivators. Whether it is the people of the Yukui demon sect or the Yoluo demon sect. As long as there is an opportunity, in the eyes of evil thought, there is no difference. Of course it's just me. Evil thought smiled meaningfully at the old man in front of him. His name is Yu Changtian, and he is Yu Heng's uncle. Evil thought is not his opponent for the time being. What are you laughing at? Yu Changtian frowned and asked. Evil thoughts quickly put away his smile and explained, since Senior Yu has come personally, I think the Yoluo demon sect will surely die. 300 years ago, Senior Yu's 9th-generation demonic art had been cultivated to the 5th generation, and he was also a top-notch master in Yusha realm. Humph, Yu Changtian snorted coldly, then turned his head and looked in the direction of Yoluo city, saying, Matai, considering that your sect has notified me, I will not settle accounts with you today. But you can't stay here, otherwise don't blame me for being rude. This is an order to expel the guest. Evil thoughts actually just came to test the waters. After all, if he didn't come, who knew whether Yu Changtian really wanted to fight Yoluo city? Now that he saw it and knew Yu Changtian's attitude, his goal had been achieved. He just needed to find an opportunity to devour them one by one. Then Senior Yu, I'm leaving now. If you have anything, you can find me. Evil thoughts had been prepared and left a talisman. This is a cloud-piercing talisman. After using it, the spiritual power in the talisman will condense into a cloud-piercing arrow. It lasts for a long time. This Matai, I'm afraid he has ulterior motives. After the evil thoughts left, a cultivator who was also quite old said to Yu Changtian, I know, maybe he wants Yoluo City. You follow him and see if Matai really came alone, or brought the elders of the clan with him. If he wants to take advantage of the situation, I'm afraid his idea will be in vain. Yes, Elder Yu. After receiving the order, the elder disappeared quickly, and only those who were familiar with him knew what magic he used. As soon as the people here left, another black shadow suddenly appeared in front of Yu Changtian. Yu Tangzi. Looking at the face in his memory, Yu Changtian stood up suddenly and took a stance. He was extremely shocked. He knew the female cultivators of Yoluo demon sect. The higher the cultivation level, the younger the face, which is completely different from the ordinary female cultivators. Seeing that Yu Tangzi was only 20 years old, he was very alert. Elder Yu, you old immortal have come out. In comparison, Yu Tangzi was more surprised. But she was surprised, and she also identified the instigator, and couldn't help but said coldly, why did you lead people to attack our Yoluo city? And, where is Yu Hung? Let him come out to see this elder. Yu Tangzi is a person of the same generation as Yu Changtian, so naturally he would not give face. Moreover, after taking a longevity pill from Zuyun, Yu Tangzi was full of confidence. You know the answer but you still ask. When Yu Hung was mentioned again, Yu Changtian could not help but burst into anger and said, Yu Hung died in the hands of your Yoluo demon sect, and you still dare to ask me for him. Bullshit. Yu Tangzi cursed directly, saying, my Yoluo demon sect has no grudges against your Yukoi demon sect, why would I kill someone from your sect? And, the one I killed was Yu Hung? Yu Changtian, you must have been in seclusion for hundreds of years, and your brain has become a mess, right? Yu Tangzi, I won't waste my words with you. Yu Changtian glared at Yu Tangzi and said, hand over Nangong Ting Feng. Nangong Ting Feng. Yu Tangzi was stunned for a moment, then laughed strangely, I told you that your brain is a mess, but you still don't admit it. Nangong Ting Feng is from the Demon Seal sect, and you want him from my Yoluo demon sect? It's really a dog's mouth that can't spit out ivory. I warn you, I'll give you 3 breaths to take back all the puppets, otherwise, I don't mind hurting your vitality. There are only more than 10 Yuanying stage here, and she is not afraid of Yu Changtian at all, so Yu Tangzi has such confidence. Shrew. Yu Changtian's eyes almost shot out 2 flames, and he shouted angrily, who doesn't know that Nangong Yin doesn't want to see Nangong Ting Feng? And Nangong Ting Feng went to Juyu land, and even went from Yoluo city. Without you with the instruction of Yoluo demon sect, how could she attack our puppet control demon sect without any reason? Yu Tangzi sneered and said, Nangong Ting Feng did leave from Yoluo city, but she went back to Nangong's home, not Juyu land. Yu Changtian, if you want to throw dirty water, you have to find some legitimate reasons. Bar. The two confronted each other. To be honest, Yu Tangzi did not want to conflict with the puppet-controlling demon sect. Because their current focus is to guard the demon refining tower. The elders of the Nangong family have all returned. Recently, they have been guarded by people from Yaoang Valley, and their usual contact is with Xiu'er. Luo Yanran and Hu Chong have formed an alliance. If there is any accident in Moyulin, they will immediately support Yaoang Valley. At the same time, on the wall of Yoluo city, Luo Yanran stood behind her, while Feng and he stood beside her. Why would Ting Feng Demon Lord take action against the people of the puppet-controlling demon sect? Xianxia left in a hurry and did not understand the details. As the sect leader, Luo Yanran had to ask. If it weren't for Xiu'er's relationship, Luo Yanran wouldn't want to get too close to Feng Anhe. This. Feng Anhe hesitated. It was impossible for him to say that it was because of Sun Qiniang. If the news reaches Zuyun, it will be a trivial matter for Zuyun not to take him to the spirit world. If Zuyun takes action against him, he will have only one choice. That means you have to admit when you make a mistake, and you have to stand upright when you are beaten. If you hide it, I can only go to Zuyun. Luo Yanran glanced at him indifferently and said, although Zuyun is my equal, but really, Zuyun is my disciple's Taoist companion, what do you think? What? Feng Anhe's eyes suddenly widened. The reason why he was afraid was actually because he was afraid that Sun Qiniang was Zuyun's Taoist companion. After all, they brought her to Huaden Valley together, but they were worried about her safety and kept the painted sky scroll. Although I don't know why, Sun Qiniang will appear in Juyu land. But if this is true, it's not as simple as being beaten. Never say that. Feng Anhe took a deep breath and made a decision in his heart. He could say that it was because of Sun Qiniang, but he couldn't reveal any information about Sun Qiniang in his heavenly scroll. Sect Master Luo, this matter actually started because of a female swordsman named Sun Qiniang. Sun Qiniang. Luo Yanran frowned. She knew Sun Qiniang. He also knew that Sun Qiniang and Jian Tianming were actually fused together. Therefore, she is even more hostile to Sun Qiniang. That's right, it's Sun Qiniang. I was exploring the passage to the spirit world with Ting Feng in the Juyu land, and suddenly I heard the sound of a fight. When I looked over, I found out that it was someone from the puppet control demon sect who relied on the large number of people. Was bullying Sun Qiniang. Zuyun had brought Sun Qiniang to Huaden Valley, so I naturally recognized him. So, Ting Feng and I stepped forward to help rescue him. Who would have thought that many people from the puppet demon sect were present? Then fight with us. What happened next? Luo Yanran continued to ask. Later, there were so many of them that Ting Feng and I got separated. Sun Qiniang didn't know what happened, but I was rescued by an old acquaintance from the Peeper realm. Later, Zuyun went to the Peeper realm to find me. Feng Anhe spoke carefully, trying to select useful information as much as possible without conflicting with the information held by Yaluo demon sect. It seems that they have got the news and heard that Lord Feng demon is going from our Yaluo city. Luo Yanran's brows deepened. Because Xiu'er told her that Nangang Tingfeng said on the surface that he was going home, but in fact he was going to the Juyu land, and the purpose was to meet Feng Anhe. Of course, Xiu'er didn't make it clear that the most important purpose of going to Juyu land was to send Feng Qingyang and Zhou Yingxia to the spirit world. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I started my cultivation by picking up the immortal skills. Author, Banzuan Xianxia. Chapter 813. So, there is obviously someone who is trying to cause a fight between the puppet-controlling demon sect and our Yaluo demon sect. So, what is his purpose? Is it for Yaluo city? Or does he want to destroy our Yaluo demon sect? Luo Yanran's brows almost twisted together. Could it be a remnant of the Silver Sword demon sect? Xiu'er suddenly whispered. Impossible, the Silver Snake Sword Master is dead. There will be no more demon cultivators in the Yasha realm who can use swords. Luo Yanran said this with certainty. But our Yaluo demon sect has always been on good terms with other demon sections. Even though we are one of the three major demon sects, we have never bullied the weak. Who would provoke such a big hatred and make the puppet control demon sect want to fight us desperately? Xiu'er looked at the huge army of puppets above the city wall. Their eyes were lifeless, but they were constantly using their killing moves to fight to the death with the female cultivators of the Yolodo demon sect. Every time a puppet falls, another puppet comes up behind it. Even if Yolodo demon sect still has the upper hand at this time, it can't hold back the puppet, and it's hard to know whether it's life or death. As long as you are alive, you will have fear. Fear of life and death. But at this moment, there was a sudden roar in the distance. A huge black mushroom cloud rose from the ground and shot straight into the sky. Covering the sky and blocking out the sun, the sky is also dark. Elder Yu. Under the black clouds, Luo Yanran and others saw a graceful figure. If not Yu Tangzi, who else could it be? And the one fighting with her was none other than Yu Changtian. They finally took action. Yu Tangzi didn't want to fight Yu Changtian, but she had no choice at this time because the other party took action first. Yu Changtian didn't believe her, and Yu Tangzi couldn't convince Yu Changtian. Then the final result is a battle of life and death. But under this situation, how could the other elders of the puppet-controlling demon sect stand on the sidelines and watch the show? The moment the two took action, they all attacked in groups. No, Luo Yanran couldn't help but exclaimed when she saw more than 10 figures following closely behind, attacking Yu Tangzi, and flew towards that direction without saying a word. Senior sister. Xiu'er was horrified, but she was only in the Dan stage. Let alone go to support, she might not even be able to leave the city wall. In desperation, Xiu'er quickly turned to Feng Anhe behind her and shouted, "Brother-in-law, hurry up and help my senior sister." This. Feng An and Timid were trembling while standing on the city wall. How could they dare to leave here? Seeing his appearance, Xiu'er was furious and said angrily, "Trash." After that, she bit her silver teeth secretly, took out the magic seal, stepped on it and chased after Luo Yanran. Luo Yanran is now the leader of Yolodo demon sect, so nothing can happen to him. Otherwise, the consequences are disastrous. Just as the two of them were flying up, the other Yuanying elders of Yolodo demon sect also discovered the situation, and they all abandoned the enemies in front of them and rushed to Luo Yanran's aid. But there was no resistance here, and those puppets were so powerful that they quickly reached the bottom of the city wall. Now, Feng Anhe only has two ways left to go. Either advance or retreat. If you advance, you may have to fight the enemy. But if we retreat, can this city wall stop these tens of thousands of puppets? In just a moment, Feng Anhe made a decision, and with the wind power all over his body, he chased after him. Outnumbered, Yu Tangzi fought and retreated, and soon joined Luo Yanran and others who came for help, and then slowed down. "You guys restrain the others, I'll kill this old man Yu Changtian first." As she spoke, she kept dancing with her hands, and Yolodo's magic power quickly condensed from her hands, and soon formed a strange weapon. "Yu Tangzi, don't you think that these are the only means I have?" Yu Changtian had a look of contempt on his face and seemed not to take Yu Tangzi seriously at all. He also quickly moved. Black magic power twisted in front of him, and soon formed a black light door. Although Yu has practiced the 9 generations of demonic skills, but he has never given up the art of controlling puppets. "Let me show you my puppets." As he finished speaking, puppets wrapped in armor came out one after another. They each held a spear in their hands and stood in the void. It's obviously lifeless, but it's imposing. Above the tip of the spear, there was a frightening cold light. "So you saved a hand." Yu Tangzi's expression became serious, but his hand didn't stop. He immediately struck down the barrier, and the black light rushed straight towards the light door. "Die." Wishful thinking. Yu Changtian sneered with disdain, and kept changing movements in his hands, and under his control, these puppets formed a formation together. Then, he raised his gun and faced Yolodo's spiritual power from Yutang camp. Boom! The loud noise shook the sky. The puppet array was in chaos, but Yu Tangzi was also shaken out and flew backwards for nearly 100 steps. Not to mention, the elders who came with her. In comparison, the puppet-controlling demon sect is not much better. The other elders were also affected. This is a way of injuring the enemy 1,000 times and damaging yourself 800 times. Yu Tangzi didn't expect Yu Changtian's heart to be so cruel. Her chest was shaken by the force, and she spat out a mouthful of blood. Far away, an excited and cruel smile appeared on the corner of Evil Thought's mouth. This is the scene he wants to see the most. GGG, fight, fight, fight until both sides are injured, then I have a chance. But he never expected that Feng and he arrived a step late and happened to encounter two powerful men fighting each other. The huge spiritual power fluctuations almost scared him out of his wits. He forced the wind's spiritual power to move and fled to the side. As luck would have it, he landed in the hiding place of the evil thoughts. Suddenly, the two looked at each other. Compared with the powerful men in the late nascent soul stage in front of him, Feng and he finally felt more at ease when facing the realm momentum revealed by the evil thoughts. In a flash, he thought that he should also contribute. Otherwise, how could the Yologo demon sect protect him? Immediately, he did not hesitate to condense the wind's spiritual power and used a spell against the evil thoughts. Wind Blade. A light blue wind blade appeared in the air, and Feng and he did not hold back at all. Looking for death. Evil Thought was also distracted for a moment. Although Feng and he was in front of him, the key point was that Feng and he was a righteous cultivator, and what was revealed on his body was spiritual power. He had not had time to react to the fact that a righteous cultivator would appear in the battle between the two major demon sects, and Feng and he had already made a move. The attribute of Wind's spiritual power is speed. The magic in the world can only be broken by speed. He was furious, and it was too late to dodge, so he could only resist. Evil Thought cursed angrily, and stretched out a palm to slap the incoming wind blade. At the same time, his body also moved forward, trying to stick to Feng and he with his other palm, and then use the devouring magic to directly swallow his spiritual power and lifespan for his own use. But on Yu Tangzi's side, because both sides were injured, the fight stopped. This sudden appearance of spiritual power and magic power immediately attracted the attention of both sides. "Ma Tai, are you hiding aside?" Yu Changtian frowned and couldn't help shouting. He said he came to see and had already left, but now he appeared not far from where they were fighting. If he said he had no other thoughts, he would not believe it. In contrast, the reaction of the Yologo demon sect was more intense. Xiu stood on the magic seal and screamed, "He is definitely not Ma Tai." Yu Tangzi's hair stood on end, she knew very well that Ma Tai would die. But now he was standing here alive and attacking Feng and he, so there was no doubt that the evil thoughts took over his body and escaped from the tower. "Xiu, you go to the Demon Moon Forest. The rest of you, follow me." Yu Tangzi was injured, but when she saw Ma Tai, she did not hesitate at all, and rushed towards Feng and he despite the severe pain in her body. Yu Tangzi moved, and the other elders also moved. They are. How could the Yologo demon sect, who had fought with him to death before, suddenly go to Ma Tai's side? Could it be that all this was Ma Tai's interference? Yu Changtian had lived for so many years, so naturally he had some thoughts. He noticed something was wrong at first sight. "Yu Tangzi, what did Ma Tai do?" he shouted immediately. But the only response he got was Yu Tangzi's cold and ruthless voice. "He is not Ma Tai, he is the one who will destroy the entire Yusha realm." As soon as the words fell, Yu Tangzi's aura exploded. Yologo disintegration technique. The other female cultivators followed closely and used the secret techniques of Yologo demon sect one after another. Yu Changtian didn't believe it at first. But seeing that all the female cultivators did not hesitate at all, and they were willing to burn their lifespans to enhance their combat effectiveness at this time, he believed it even if he didn't believe it. Stop attacking Yoluo City, gather all the puppets here, leave Matai nowhere to go. After a pause, Yu Changtian continued, then, follow me to capture Matai alive. Warm Ti. I started my cultivation by picking up the immortal skills. Author, Banzuan Xianxia. Chapter 814. Yu Changtian has his own judgment. But he even wanted to know what Matai had done to make the female nuns of Yoluo demon sect react like this. He can be used as a gun for Yu Tangzi, but he doesn't want to be so unclear. Yes, Elder Yu. All the nascent souls spoke in unison and summoned their puppets. Soon, under Yoluo City, all the puppets stopped and flew towards here. But the land of more than 50 miles will not be reached immediately. But time is enough. Because under the joint attack of all the female cultivators, the demon saint's evil thoughts are hard to beat with 4 hands. But he was not Yi Xianxia. How rich was his combat experience when he was still in the spirit world. At this time, he also possesses the devouring demon art. As long as a female cultivator is touched by his hand, the evil thoughts will use the devouring demon art without hesitation. Even though these female cultivators have amazing cultivation skills and can escape from it, they will inevitably be absorbed by their evil thoughts and take away some of their lifespan. And they had already burned their longevity, so the faces of these female cultivators aged at a speed visible to the naked eye. Even Yu Tangzi is no exception. Moreover, the vitality and power gained through devouring can also repair the injuries caused by evil thoughts. With each ebb and flow, evil thoughts can be dealt with ease. Even though Yu Changtian and other nascent souls had joined in, there was only one person with evil thoughts, and there was no need to worry about accidental injury. He dealt with it unscrupulously, and he slowly gained the upper hand. Until a few hours later, everyone from Yaoang Valley rushed to help. Fellow Daoist Hu, hurry up. Yu Tangzi knocked back the evil thought several steps with one blow, and then took the time to call Hu Chang. At this moment, Yu Tangzi has transformed from a young girl into a mature woman. Elder Yu. Hu Chang exclaimed, knowing that the situation was dangerous at this time, and he didn't care why the demon saint's evil thoughts escaped from the demon refining tower, and immediately came up with a group of hands to bully him. Looking at evil thought again, the moment he saw everyone in Yaoang Valley, he couldn't help but look overjoyed. This shows that there is no one guarding the demon refining tower in the demon moon forest. If we can seize the demon refining tower at this time, he will be even more powerful. Using the demon refining tower, he could encircle all these people in the tower. There was no need to waste the vitality and power he had finally absorbed on healing like this. Moreover, you can defeat them one by one. Jajaja, everyone, see you later. With a clearer goal, the evil thoughts did not want to stay here any longer, but instead used all their strength to carve out a bloody path while Yu Tangzi was distracted and fighting with Hu Chang. No one could have imagined that evil thought, which had clearly gained the upper hand, would suddenly change its prudent strategy. Unprepared, evil thought rushed out of the encirclement, bypassed the oncoming Hu Chang, and ran wildly into the distance. Go. No, we can't let him run away. Yu Tangzi screamed and immediately chased after him. Hu Chang knew that if he allowed his evil thoughts to escape, it would be like letting the tiger return to the mountain. Although, I don't know how he escaped from the demon refining tower, but in the previous battle, so many multidimensional infant stages were unable to do anything to him, which shows how powerful his evil thoughts are. Moreover, if he seizes Shimatai, he will definitely be able to strengthen himself by devouring magic power. There is no way to express evil thoughts, and there will be no taboo against swallowing people like the demon sect. This will be a disaster for the mortal world. This disaster will not end until the mortal world can no longer tolerate evil thoughts. Chase. Hu Chang gritted his teeth, turned his head abruptly, and chased after him with his hands. The abominable thought was all about escaping, but before he took the body, His body was a golden rock, but now he is a human body, and his experience in escaping is not comparable to that of these human monks. Soon, the evil thoughts disappeared without a trace. Maybe he went to Demon Moon Forest. Hu Chang said through gritted teeth. Where's Xiu? Yu Tangzi knew, but she took a closer look at the person behind Hu Chang and did not find Xiu, so she couldn't help asking quickly. Xiu's royal demon seal is flying at full speed. She may not be able to follow up. I asked her to come back slowly. After Hu Chang finished speaking, his expression changed. Because if evil thoughts go to Demon Moon Forest, they are very likely to meet head-on. If evil thoughts attack Xiu, the consequences will be disastrous. Chase, chase quickly, chase with all your strength, go to Demon Moon Forest. Yu Tangzi was shocked and angry. She was covered in blood, and her facial features were almost twisted together in pain. Elder Yu, you stay, I'll go after him. Dr. Hu Chang was kind-hearted and planned to leave one person behind to help Yu Tangzi stabilize his injuries first. No, I can't let go if I don't see Xiu. To Yu Tangzi, Xiu is not simply Nangongyin's daughter. As a maid who has served her for hundreds of years, sometimes the relationship is like that of mother and daughter. Hu Chang looked at Yu Tangzi deeply and said nothing more. It's fine if we do it together. The two parties were silent, and behind them, Yu Changtian also chased after them closely. He was not stupid, on the contrary, he was more shrewd. He chose to chase between the two at this time, and asked the other elders to follow him at a distance to avoid misunderstanding. Yu Tangzi, can you tell me now why Matai is not Matai? Also, his demon-devouring skill. Yu Tangzi looked at Yu Changtian and said, Matai was taken away by someone. No, Matai was taken away by a demon. Demon, demon cultivator? How could a demon cultivator possess someone else's body? Yu Tangzi, I know I'm going to kill Matai now, but do you think I'm a 3-year-old kid, fooling me with these words? Who said he's a demon cultivator? Yu Tangzi sneered, he's a demon saint. Demon saint? Impossible. Yu Changtian's face changed, and he said in disbelief. Anyone who has cultivated to the nascent soul stage knows that the ceiling of the mortal world is here. There can't be an existence beyond this realm. Even if there is, the strength that can be displayed can only be equivalent to the nascent soul stage. It's the demon saint. Hu Chang saw that Yu Tangzi was struggling to speak, and said, he was originally suppressed in the demon refining tower by the powerful in the spirit world, and later he escaped for some reason and possessed Matai's body. Before seeing Matai today, it was the first time we saw him outside the demon refining tower. So I am very sure that he is the demon saint. Who are you? Seeing Hu Chang interrupting, Yu Changtian was very dissatisfied. I am Hu Chang, the master of Yaoang Valley in Peepa Realm. Hu Chang's voice also turned cold. He was also a proud person. It turned out to be Master Hu. Yu Changtian had heard about it. Knowing that Medicine King Valley cultivates immortality through medicine, he could not help but stand in awe and said, please forgive me. Hu Chang was not an unreasonable person. Yu Changtian lowered his posture and could not help but change his tone slowly, saying, the reason is not clear for a while, you just need to know that Matai must die. Yu Changtian nodded and said, I understand a little bit. Why did Matai tell us that it was the people of Yaloo demon sect who sent Nangong Tingfeng to kill Yu Hung? We were used. Yu Tangzi also said at this time, it's the same as I guessed, but it's a pity that you didn't give us a chance to explain at that time. Nangong Tingfeng went to Juyu land and did have a conflict with you. But with her strength, how could she kill Yu Hung and a group of elders? Even if Yu Tangzi originally wanted to talk about Feng and he, who would have thought that when he turned around, Feng and he had gone to an unknown place. So, he didn't say it, so as not to add to the trouble. No matter what, Feng and he was sent by Zhu Yunrang. He wanted to give this face to Zuyun. Moreover, this time, evil thought suddenly escaped from the demon refining tower, which was equivalent to that they did not help Zuyun do a good thing. Alas, what should I do? Yu Tangzi didn't want to continue talking, and sighed. Yu Changtian also knew that if he wanted to know the whole story, he could only kill Ma Tai to find out. It was probably impossible to capture Ma Tai alive. There was only one death. Evil thought had a clear goal and soon rushed to the Demon Moon Forest. He walked out of here. Of course he remembered the location of the demon refining tower. But on the way, he didn't meet Xiu'er. Little did he know that before this, Xiu'er saw that everyone in Yaoang Valley went to help Yaloo demon sect, so she stayed on her own initiative. But when she saw Ma Tai, she secretly thought it was not good, and hid under the cover of the magic seal. In her excitement, evil thought didn't find Xiu'er, opened the bronze door, went in, and went straight to the 9th floor. It's easy to get it? Standing in front of the black pool, evil thought couldn't help but laugh out loud. Then, he slowly stepped into the black pool. I started my cultivation by picking up the immortal skills. Author, Banzuan Xianxia. Chapter 815. In the wild sea, on an island near the ancestral land of the dragon clan, Niao, who was resting with his eyes closed, suddenly stood up. That ominous premonition is becoming more and more real. Could it be that my evil thoughts are taking action? The evil thoughts were separated from his body and formed an independent individual. But in fact, they still have a vague connection. I don't know where Zuyun is now. What should I do? Niao stomped back and forth. It was related to him, so he became a person in the game. The bystander is clear, but the person in the game is confused. If Zuyun didn't go to deal with the nightmare monster, I could go in and look for him despite the suppression of Dongsheng realm, but if it affects Zuyun, it would be bad. What should I do? Otherwise, I will go back to Yisha realm first. At Niao's speed, it will take at most half a month to reach Yisha realm. If it is fast, 10 days is not impossible. No, I must go and see. At worst, I will merge with the evil thoughts again, otherwise, the evil thoughts will be unrestrained and will harm the people, which is what I don't want to see. Niao is kind-hearted and can't bear to see the mortal world suffer a catastrophe. Such a mood overwhelms his concern for his own safety. Then let's go. Niao turned back to his original life and returned along the original road near the sea. At the same time, Zuyun was still in the ancestral land of the Rat clan. He and Lao Ma were looking for the location of the ancestral land of the nightmare monster. Although the rumors may not be true, the cliff of the sky was guarded, and it was better to have a goal than to be like a headless moth jumping around in the Dongsheng realm. Finally, after touching the border of the Peepa realm, Zuyun suddenly remembered something. Lao Ma, you said, the Nightmare Demon King returned to their ancestral land. In such a short time, is it possible to teach the tribesmen to learn the heavenly book skills? Hearing this, Lao Ma knew what Zuyun meant. He probably wanted to find the location of the nightmare monster through the sense of smell of the 3 dogs. But he shook his head and said with a wry smile, Master, if this is feasible, the nightmare clan would have been destroyed long ago. Zuyun was stunned, and he also realized the loopholes in his idea. What Lao Ma said was indeed reasonable. If it could be found so easily, how could the nightmare clan still have its ancestral land? It seems that it won't work. I can only use this most common method. Zuyun also smiled bitterly. There was a transparent barrier in front of him. He now needed to decide whether to go north or south along the barrier. Master, we can't separate. Lao Ma said. Zuyun reluctantly took out the chaos sword and said, it depends on God's will. After that, he threw the chaos sword casually, and he would go to the direction where the sword tip was facing. However, by chance, the chaos sword was inserted straight into the soil. It can't be underground, right? Zuyun didn't know whether to laugh or cry, and took a step forward to pull out the chaos sword. But he never thought that when he drew the sword, the ground suddenly shook, and pieces of rubble began to collapse along the pit where the sword tip was inserted. What's going on? Although he knew that this sword caused an abnormal movement, indicating that there was another world below, Zuyun still couldn't help but exclaimed. Seeing the hole in front of him getting bigger and bigger, Zuyun and Lao Ma also retreated again and again. Soon, the bowl-sized hole turned into a vertical pit that could accommodate dozens of people in the blink of an eye. A sinkhole. The ground stopped shaking, and Zuyun muttered, "Put away the chaos sword," and walked towards the hole. "Master, be careful," Lao Ma reminded him, but Zuyun waved his hand casually. He didn't feel any danger. Even if this was the ancestral land of the nightmare demon, he didn't panic. The pit was very deep and there was no end in sight, which also showed that there was really another world below. "Go down and take a look." Zuyun stood up and turned back to ask Lao Ma. "Master, don't ask me. If you go, I will accompany you. If you don't go, I naturally dare not go alone." "You are so straightforward," Zuyun scolded with a smile, and said, "Since there is a change here, I must go and take a look. However, I don't think it is likely to be the ancestral land of the nightmare demon. How can an ancestral land be hidden under the ground, and a hole is poked out by a sword?" As soon as he finished speaking, Zuyun suddenly paused. "A sword. This sword is the Chaos Sword. Moreover, ordinary demon cultivators cannot come here and poke the ground with their demon weapons. Another possibility is that the ground is extremely hard, and ordinary demon weapons, magic weapons, or spiritual weapons, or even the power of the demon beast's body, cannot destroy this place. And the Chaos Sword is an immortal sword." Thinking of this, Zuyun couldn't help but tremble all over, and said to Lao Ma, "This really may be the ancestral land of the nightmare demon, let's go down carefully." Zuyun tightened the Chaos Sword in his hand, and when he turned around, he poked the ground with another sword. Swish! As expected, the Chaos Sword sank into the ground. When it was pulled out again, a hole appeared, just like the previous one. Zuyun took a few steps back and said, "Old Ma, wait a minute, let me see how big this hole is." After that, Zuyun simply changed from stabbing to slashing. Clang! 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 A few times in a row, holes appeared on the ground one after another. These holes were very close to each other, and soon formed a big hole. As the hole grew bigger, light also penetrated into the hole. With the weak light, Zuyun used the breaking void spirit eye technique and looked down. It was not deep. It looks more like a tunnel. Zuyun thought about it and said to Lao Ma, "It's useless to smash it again, it's just a waste of time, why don't we go down and take a look?" He had his own ideas. If it was a tunnel, the nightmare demon would not have any advantage even if he wanted to win by numbers. He could completely rely on the terrain, and one man could block the pass and 10,000 men could not open it. "Master, you have the final say." Lao Ma was nervous, but he nodded firmly. "Then let's go. If you encounter danger, I will take you to that space." Zuyun's words undoubtedly made Lao Ma feel a lot more at ease, but thinking that if it was true, how could he let Zuyun face it alone? The nightmare demon's combat power is not strong, it's nothing more than a trick on people's hearts. Besides, the nightmare demon king is not the master's opponent, what is there to be afraid of him? One person and one demon quickly jumped down the tunnel, also facing two directions. Zuyun no longer used the Chaos Sword this time, but randomly chose one side and slowly walked along the tunnel. Half an incense stick later, several mice appeared at the edge of the pit, but their eyes were looking in the direction where Zuyun left. "Go back and tell Elder Bai that they are here to look for treasures from our rat clan's ancestral land. What about you? I'll keep an eye on them here. This corridor only has two directions." The slightly larger rat demon's eyes rolled around. What he meant was that if they didn't see Zuyun by the time Whitebeard was called, it meant that they hadn't changed their direction. If Zuyun's current path was blocked, he would naturally reappear here, and he could see it. Brother, do you think this is really our rat clan's treasure land? Of course it is. The Demon King has been looking for it for thousands of years but couldn't find it. Unexpectedly, it was found by a human cultivator and the Demon King of the Horse Clan. Go back and inform them. This is our chance to make a great contribution. Got it, I'll go now. The small mouse demon jumped out, and disappeared after a rustling sound. The big rat demon stuck to the edge of the pit, motionless. If you don't look carefully, you can't find it at all. This is the original talent of the Demon Rat Clan, melting color. At the same time, Xiu quietly approached the demon refining tower. She saw with her own eyes that the evil thought opened the bronze door and entered it, but after a long time, there was no movement in the demon refining tower. She couldn't help but think of some things Zuyun had said about the demon refining tower, and also mentioned Zhu Feng, and she had an idea in her mind. If the evil thought had a body and controlled the demon refining tower, it would be a nightmare on earth. And Zhu Feng was only in the foundation establishment stage at that time, but he got the control of the demon refining tower. I am at least in the late stage of the core formation stage. At this time, there was no movement in the demon refining tower, which means that the evil thought did not take action, maybe just wanted to hide in the tower. If I take this opportunity to refine the demon refining tower, will it prevent the evil thought from succeeding? Thinking of this, Xiu made up her mind, got up and opened the bronze door, and walked into the demon refining tower without hesitation. Almost at the same time, the evil thought suddenly woke up in the black pool. A Jindan stage person came in? Where did he come from? Evil thought frowned, but then relaxed. Forget it, swallowing Jindan stage people will have little effect on me now. She won't be able to find the 9th floor for a while, so I might as well concentrate on refining the demon refining tower. Alas, without me as the tower spirit, this demon refining tower is really difficult to refine. Evil thought closed his eyes again and continued to refine the demon refining tower. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I started my cultivation by picking up the immortal skills. Author, Banzuan Xianxia. Chapter 816. Dongshenjing, the ancestral land of the Rat Clan. Whitebeard heard the news and immediately found all the elders. He looked solemn and said, "The human race and the horse race must have come here to look for our ruins. Now, they have found a tunnel. If we go there, maybe we can find things passed down by our ancestors, and maybe we can unlock the secret of destiny. Is this true?" Upon hearing the destiny, all the demon kings were extremely excited. People of their status naturally know the word destiny. But what destiny is, has always been in the hands of the Rat Demon Emperor. All they know is a few words. But it doesn't stop them from wanting to know their destiny. Because they speculate that destiny represents eternal life. Of course it's true, Whitebeard said coldly, the Demon King is dead, and he died after going to the Ma clan's ancestral land. When the Rat Demon King died, the Rat clan's ancestral land immediately knew the news. But the totem pole is on the Mouse Demon Emperor, so they cannot inherit the destiny again, let alone know the destiny. What made them most suspicious was that even though the Rat Demon Emperor died in the ancestral land of the Horse Clan, there were still humans and horse demons coming over, saying they were visiting the Demon Emperor. In fact, this was also Zuyun's omission. They thought that the Rat Demon Emperor died quietly, but they didn't know that if the Demon Emperor died, how could there be no news from the Rat Clan? Just by mistake, they searched for the location of the Nightmare Demon's ancestral land and found the tunnel, which caused the Rat Clan to misunderstand. Rat demons like to dig holes by nature, and they suddenly discovered a tunnel under the ground. Naturally, they thought it was an ancient ruin that they had been looking for many years. "Then let's leave now," an elder said. "Of course," the old god with white beard said, "after the death of the demon emperor, there is no totem pole, so any of us can choose to be the demon emperor. Everyone knows that it is completely unfair to compete. So, I think who can if you find the inheritance of your ancestors in the ruins, then who will be the demon king?" "Yes, I agree. The totem pole is useless, we might as well become the demon king ourselves. Indeed, I have never believed in totem poles. All the rat demons had their own agendas and expressed their own opinions, but they undoubtedly reached a consensus." Soon, dozens of rat demon kings rushed toward the border. But no one knows what will happen to them. At this time, Zuyun had already put away the old horse and was walking alone in the corridor. The further he walked, the more eerie and strange this place felt. The corridor seemed to have been built for a long time. Through careful observation, he found that it was more like it was dug out by humans. After walking for a long time, he discovered that there was a whole new world beneath the ground. In addition to passing through a few forks, the corridor also gradually tilted slightly underground. In other words, he is going deep underground. Is this an underground world? The further down he went, the more careful he became. But despite being careful, he was still very excited. If it is really the ancestral land of the nightmare demon, it can explain why the ancestral land of the nightmare demon has never been discovered in Dongsheng realm. "Chief, it seems that someone has discovered our ancestral land." In the deepest part of the tunnel, a nightmare demon that exuded a foul smell and had turned into a human form was reporting the latest information to the nightmare demon emperor. "Kill him." The nightmare demon king opened his eyes impatiently and dismissed the clan members. It could be seen that he was in a very irritable mood. Nothing else. Just because he discovered something was wrong with the totem pole. There are no changes to the sheep and cattle tribes. But no matter how much he explored the rat clan's totem pole, he didn't find anything that looked like a totem pole. For example, you can feel the subtle demonic power in the sheep-headed pillars and ox-headed pillars. But there is nothing in the rat-head pillar. This couldn't help but make him a little irritable. If the rat-head pillar doesn't work, then when he goes to Tianzi Cliff, he still needs to bear the pressure brought by the natural maze. In essence, the nightmare demon is still a demon. Even if he practices the 5 elements of Chaos Sutra to block all the characteristics of the demon clan, it cannot change his essence of being a demon. This is what the nightmare demon king is worried about. After escaping from the Ma clan's ancestral land, the nightmare demon king rushed back to his ancestral land without stopping. He first healed himself, and then taught all the techniques of the 5 elements of Chaos Sutra to his tribe. As long as the nightmare monster can transform into a human form, all the techniques can be practiced. Moreover, he also promised that after all the clan members have practiced, he will take them to Tianzi Cliff. The nightmare demon emperor estimated that it would take a year at the earliest. But when he took out the rat-head pillar after everything was prepared, he discovered that something was wrong with the rat-head pillar. Damn it, could it be that I killed the rat demon king and that's why the rat-head pillar is useless? The nightmare demon king was disturbed by his clan members while he was deep in thought, so he became upset and told him to kill the intruder with bad words. The surroundings became quiet again. For a long time, he entered a state of thinking again. Now, there are only 2 ways. One is to restore the rat-head pillar. Then should we capture a rat demon king and let him accept the inheritance of the rat-head pillar and become the demon king? But it is not sure. It's not because there is no demon king. The second is to think of another way to get a totem pole. This is feasible, but the problem is that this boy Zuyun must have passed my news to all the demon kings, so that they can gather in Ma the ancestral land. And after I kill the rat demon king, they will definitely go to guard the sky cliff. When the Nightmare Demon King thought about this, he gritted his teeth with hatred. Not to mention that he has traveled across the Eastern Victory for thousands of years, but at least everything is under his control, and he can manipulate all the demon clans at his fingertips. But since Zuyun appeared, he felt restricted everywhere. Everything is because of Zuyun. Starting from meeting him in the ancestral land of the Dragon Clan. No, if I don't kill Zuyun, I can't swallow this breath. Even if I go to the spirit world, I won't be willing to do it. The Nightmare Demon King suddenly stood up, his eyes filled with murderous intent. He was so shocked that the clan members not far away fell into silence and did not dare to make any sound at all. Even the newly obtained information about the intruder was not dared to be passed on. At the same time, something happened in the Demon Moon Forest. A group of demonic nascent souls surrounded the Demon Refining Tower. Just when they were still thinking about how to deal with it, the Demon Refining Tower suddenly moved. Boom! 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 The Demon Refining Tower began to shake and made a low sound. In everyone's shocked eyes, the Demon Refining Tower actually flew up out of thin air. What's going on? Yu Tangzi doesn't understand the Demon Refining Tower. Even though she had walked inside, she had only been active on the first floor. Not to mention Hu Chang, Yu Changtian, and others nearby. Could it be that, the evil thoughts returned to the Demon Refining Tower, and then used Ma Tai's body to refine the Demon Refining Tower? Hu Chang's voice was trembling. Because Zuyun said that he was most afraid of the Demon Refining Tower being refined. This will make the power of evil thoughts reach an extremely terrifying level. Just imagine how much evil Zhu Feng has done through the Demon Refining Tower. If Zuyun hadn't been controlling him all the time and even ignored his own cultivation, I'm afraid the disaster in the entire mortal world would have started long ago. And now, the Demon Refining Tower will reappear in the world. If this is the case, we can only go in and stop him. Yu Tangzi was shocked and flew towards the Demon Refining Tower without hesitation. At this time, the Demon Refining Tower had just taken off, and the speed was not very fast. Yu Tangzi quickly flew to the bronze gate. She reached out and grabbed the copper ring and pulled hard. However, the bronze door doesn't move at all. Because the Demon Refining Tower is in flight and the bronze door is locked, it is impossible to open it. Unless, they have the absolute strength to directly blast open the bronze door. But the question is, if you have such strength, how can you still think about opening the door? The speed of the Demon Refining Tower is getting faster and faster, and soon it flies out of the Demon Moon Forest. There is nothing they can do. You can't even catch up. Until, the Demon Refining Tower fell under the border cliff and got into the mist. This time, it's over. Yu Tangzi slumped down and sat on the ground covered with dead leaves. In an instant, she seemed to have aged several dozen years. Elder Yu, now is not the time to give up. At this time, Hu Chang stepped forward and said seriously, at this moment, the only thing we can do is find Zuyun. Zuyun. Yu Tangzi raised his eyebrows, shining with light. That's right, look for Zuyun. He is the only one who knows the Demon Refining Tower best. I started my cultivation by picking up the immortal skills. Author, Banzuan Xianxia. Chapter 817. Then, it's time for us to go to Dongsheng Realm. But before that, we still need to visit Peepa Realm. Hu Chang thought of countless possibilities in his mind. He guessed that he had evil thoughts, and he must have wanted to use the Demon Refining Tower to suck all the righteous monks into it and trap them, and finally become the source of his power. After expressing this concern, Yu Tangzi said, in this case, I will take the people from Yaluo Demon Sect to notify all the sects in Peepa Realm. Master Hu Valley, take Yu Changtian to Dongsheng Realm first. Yu Tangzi immediately made a decision. Excuse me, Yu Changtian was still in the dark, but he could also see that this matter was not trivial, but to rise to such a high level was a bit too much, so he asked, "Can the matter be resolved? Tell me the whole story." Yanran, now you are the sect leader, but you are good or weak, let's talk about it. I don't want to delay for a moment. After that, she nodded to Hu Chong, waved to the other elders, and then flew down the cliff. Hu Chong sighed slightly and followed closely. Everyone in the Yu puppet demon sect set their sights on Luo Yanran. Everyone knows that she is the leader of Yaluo demon sect. But some couldn't believe it. The Yaluo demon sect will not pursue their previous revenge for attacking the city. Luo Yanran cleared her throat, and then spoke about the demon refining tower and evil thoughts, as well as the possible consequences. After saying this, a full hour passed. The people of the puppet-controlling demon sect were already extremely shocked. This was almost beyond their cognition. And, from this, we know how powerful the demon refining tower will be when combined with the demon devouring sect. Disaster in the mortal world. This matter is no small matter. Yu Changtian took a deep breath and said, "So, sect leader Luo, what are your plans?" It is a matter of life and death for the human race, and everything can be put aside. Yu Changtian understands this truth. Today, the Yasha realm is like a piece of scattered sand. I can't accomplish anything big by myself. Elder Yu is highly respected and a senior in the Yasha realm. He may be able to twist the rest of the demon sects into a hemp rope. The demon refining tower may need to gather together. Only with the power of the human race can we trap it again or kill the demon saint's evil thoughts. Yu Changtian smiled bitterly. Luo Yanran had to wear this tall hat even if he didn't want to. The other sects are easy to talk about, but what about the devouring demon sect and the demonic seal sect? I can't control them. Elder Yu, please don't worry, Luo Yanran said, I will go with you to the demon seal section. Nangong sect master and our Yaluo demon sect are already an indestructible alliance, but the devouring demon section. Matai was taken away from his body, and the devouring demon sect is going to be in trouble. But just in case, we should go to the demon seal sect first and meet up with the Nangong sect leader. In this way, the three major demon sects will have two representatives, so I might as well pull your banner. Yu Changtian knew that it would not be a problem to have these two major sects endorse him and run errands for him. Moreover, he has deeper plans. That is, if all the devouring demon sect is swallowed up by evil thoughts, then one of the three major demon sects will be vacant. Maybe the puppet-controlling demon sect can take over? Wealth and honor can be found in danger, and heroes can emerge in troubled times. This also applies to the survival of a sect. Then the sect leader will thank Elder Yu in advance. Luo Yanran's politeness made Yu Changtian, who had lived for 5 lifetimes, feel a little at a loss. He waved his hands repeatedly and said, Sect Master Luo is too polite. Let's go see Sect Master Nangong first. Luo Yanran, Yu puppet demon sect and his party flew wildly in the opposite direction of the cliff. When passing Yaluo city, Yu Changtian asked Luo Yanran if he wanted to go back and take a look. Luo Yanran originally didn't want to go back. The ordinary disciples in the sect did not come out to deal with the puppet siege at that time. Even if they were not there, there would be no big problem. But suddenly, she thought of Feng and he. This was not only Zuyun who asked him to come here to deliver the message, but also Feng and he's identity, which might also help them meet Nangong Yin. Wait a minute, I'm going to find someone. Who are you looking for? Yu Changtian was slightly startled. Luo Yanran smiled mysteriously, the son-in-law of sect master Nangong. Yu Changtian was stunned. He didn't understand the events of the past 100 years, but when he heard that he was Nangong Yin's son-in-law, he immediately became interested and said with a smile, the son-in-law of Nangong sect master is definitely not an ordinary person. I hope sect master Luo don't go out and ask you to drop by and take a look. Luo Yanran did not refuse, which was not a big deal in itself, and she also thought in her heart that her level was lower than Feng and he, and if Feng and he didn't want to see her, it would be okay if Yu Changtian was there. Then there is Elder Lao Yu. She deliberately emphasized the word "you're tired," and Yu Changtian immediately understood. There is something in the words, no wonder the word find is used. It should. Yu Changtian looked at a completely damaged city wall, his face slightly hot. Fortunately, he lived a long time and was thick-skinned enough, so he followed Luo Yanran and flew into Yaluo city. After the puppets retreated, the monks and city guards in the city organized themselves and were repairing the city wall. Seeing Luo Yanran passing over their heads, they all knelt down and shouted in unison. This made Yu Changtian nod frequently in his heart. It seems that the Yaluo demon sect has indeed won the hearts of the people in the city. Perhaps this is the reason why they can firmly establish themselves as one of the three sects in Yusha realm. Although their puppet-controlling demon sect also has a city. But lifeless. Apart from the disciples, there are only puppets. With a slight sigh, Luo Yanran had already found Feng Anhe. Feng Anhe was still a little hesitant when he heard that he was going to Moyin section. If Nangong Tingfeng was there, Feng Anhe would be brave and meet Nangong Yin. It wouldn't be a big deal. The only troubling thing is that he is afraid that Nangong Yin will ask for someone from him, so how can he hand it over to him? Nangong Tingfeng has gone to the spirit world. But when Yu Changtian revealed the aura of the puppet control demon sect, his first reaction was to run away. Fortunately, this time, Yu Changtian came. In front of Yu Changtian, who had practiced for 5 lifetimes, Feng Anhe couldn't escape at all, so he was caught by Yu Changtian like a chicken. I have a lot of work to do, Elder Yu. Luo Yanran said the same thing politely, but without the same ease as before. She didn't understand why Feng Anhe ran away. When this group of people went to the Demon Seal sect, Yu Tangzi also led everyone in the sect to the Fire Dragon sect. However, they were rejected. The Fire Dragon sect has closed the mountain? What does this mean? Yu Tangzi felt very surprised. Even though she has never been to Peepa Realm, she still knows that Fire Dragon sect is the 3 major sects of Peepa Realm. In addition to the fact that this place is closest to them, there is also this reason. Could it be that, the Fire Dragon sect thought we were going to attack them, so they closed the mountain? If a sect seals the mountain, it will activate the complete protective power of the mountain protecting formation. In this case, people inside the formation will not be able to get out, and people outside the formation will not be able to get in. If the formation is broken by force, it will trigger a counter-attack from the formation. It is extremely lethal and does not distinguish between friend and foe. Of course, people inside the formation will not actually know the situation outside the formation. Impossible, Yu Tangzi shook his head and said, we didn't meet anyone along the way, how could we misunderstand him? Master, do you think, the demon refining tower came and sucked them all into the demon refining tower? Luo Shuling said softly. No, I can feel that the formation is full of vitality. Maybe it's just that their whole sect is in retreat. In fact, that's fine, at least even if Matai comes, he can't get into it. Let's go to the next place. Yu Tangzi turned around neatly and led everyone away. In her impression, there is also a demon-controlling sect. But she didn't know that the demon control holy sect had long since disappeared, leaving only Yao Yuxi, who was still living under the influence of others in the Haoshan sect. Originally, he thought that revenge was hopeless, and it was good to be in Haoshan section anyway, no one would disturb him, so it was not a bad thing to practice in peace of mind. Who would have thought that the Haoshan sect would also close the mountain, and as an outsider, it was naturally inappropriate for him. With nowhere to go, Yao Yuxi could only choose to return to the demon control holy mountain. At this time, he was sitting on the top of the holy mountain, looking at the dilapidated sect ruins, with mixed feelings in his heart. Suddenly, a black shadow flew from the distance, attracting his attention. The speed of the black shadow was very fast. After his pupils gradually dilated, Yao Wuxi stood up suddenly and murmured a few words, Demon Refining Tower. I started my cultivation by picking up the immortal skills. Author, Banzuan Xianxia. Chapter 818. On the other side, Hu Chong rushed all the way towards Dongsheng realm. However, he also wants to follow the same path as Zuyun. After arriving at Peepa realm, we have to transfer to Chezhu via Shiwanda mountain, then go directly to Chenan, and then go all the way north along the coast, from the sea to Dongsheng realm. The journey was long, and since they were nascent souls who practiced medicine, the road was long and difficult. But Shen will not encounter any strong enemies in this trip. With this level, it is completely enough. Looking at Zuyun, he could not imagine that an accident would happen to the demon refining tower. At this time, he was already deep into the tunnel. A group of demon kings from the rat tribe, led by Whitebeard, also arrived at the hole where he had broken the hole. Looking at the unknown depth of the corridor below, Whitebeard's eyes were extremely deep. They learned from the mouse demon who stayed here that Zuyun had never returned, which was equivalent to giving them a direction. I've said it before, he said, looking around at the rat demon kings, whoever can find the inheritance about destiny will be the demon king. We rat tribe should not be restricted by that totem pole. This is natural. We have reached a consensus a long time ago. Whoever can unlock the destiny will be the demon emperor. Immortality cannot only be enjoyed by the demon emperor. Indeed. All the rat demon kings agreed, they had been waiting for this day for a long time. But helplessly, the rat demon king is alive and well and can live longer than them. But now, they finally got the news of the death of the rat demon king, which made them extremely excited, feeling that the opportunity had finally come. Then go. Of course, anyone who doesn't want to take risks can stay here with me. Old Bai, you are afraid of death, but we are not afraid of death. Whitebeard's words attracted ridicule from all the demon kings, and then they jumped into the tunnel one after another. Under this kind of terrain, their body has more advantages. After almost all the rat demon kings jumped down, only 3 demon kings were left on the edge of the pit, including Whitebeard. Uncle, do you think this is not a ruins? One of the rat demon kings whispered. He also had a few thin white beards around his mouth, which obviously belonged to the same tribe as Whitebeard. Actually, Whitebeard has always maintained his human form. He stroked his beard and pretended to be profound. Where did the 12 demon clans come from? The inheritance is passed down from the totem pole. But if I don't say so, they will still enter. Got it? The 2 demon kings were stunned for a moment, and then they realized that this was Whitebeard's plan. When the news of the death of the rat demon king came, the atmosphere among the rat clan was hard to describe. Some demon kings said they wanted to use totem poles to reconfirm the demon emperor, but some others objected, saying that using totem poles to select the demon emperor was too unreliable. And, who's going to find the totem pole? The most important thing is that the demon king died in the horse clan. Who did it? What if other demon clans work together to do it? The 2 parties are arguing endlessly and are on the verge of war. At this time, Whitebeard stood up. He lived the longest, and even reached the realm of the demon king when the rat demon emperor succeeded to the throne. He said, we, the 12 great demon clans, carry the destiny, but the demon emperor never told us what destiny is. He is selfish and allows himself to enjoy immortality alone, but never cares about our birth, old age, illness, and death. Maybe this is not his original intention, but at least it has something to do with the totem pole. These words immediately destroyed everyone's fighting spirit. All of them want to be the demon king, but none of them have the confidence to let themselves be chosen on the totem pole. However, all the demon kings of the past generations know about the destiny. So do you think they will leave any information about the destiny? If it is mastered by us, can we live together forever? The fighting spirit is gone and the desire is up. It doesn't matter whether others live forever or not, the key is that you can live forever. Whitebeard is very scheming, and with just a few words he found their weak spots and plotted against them step by step. As far as I know, the ancestral land of our rat tribe is not here. I have lived the longest, so I naturally have the right to say it. If we can find the remains of our ancestors, we will definitely be able to find information related to destiny. So, I propose that whoever can find the destiny and share the secret of destiny so that everyone here can achieve immortality, then I, Lao Bai, would like to recognize him as the Demon King. Really impressive. These words made the Rat Clan Demon King excited. It was also at this time that Zuyun and Lao Ma came. Therefore, when Whitebeard came out to deal with Zuyun, the other Demon Kings did not say anything. After Zuyun left, Whitebeard followed Zuyun's lead and even sent someone to follow Zuyun. Who would have thought that Zuyun found this crypt by accident, causing Whitebeard to immediately make fine adjustments to his plan. So uncle, where does this lead to? Another rat demon king said. Where else could it be? Of course it's the nightmare demon's lair. Whitebeard sneered and said, there must be some truth to the rumors. This is the ancestral land of the Rat Clan and the border between the two realms. It is certainly possible. That's why I won't let you go down, otherwise we, the white-bearded Rat Clan, will have no Demon King. Whitebeard had nothing to say. The totem pole will select a Demon King among all the Demon Kings in the clan. In other words, if he is the only Demon King left in the Rat Clan, he will have no choice on the totem pole. And this is Lao Bai's purpose. He was very sure that those Demon Kings who went down would definitely clash with the Nightmare Demons. Even if the Nightmare Demons are not good at fighting, what kind of trouble can they cause in other people's ancestral land? There are more than 1,000 of them. Moreover, he has another plan. If these Rat Demon Kings can destroy the Nightmare Demons, there is no loss for him. He can even publicize that their Rat Clan destroyed the Nightmare Demons, which is equivalent to eradicating the cancer in Dongsheng realm. He found this place and let the people go. The credit is naturally his. The prestige of the Rat Clan will rise greatly, and his status in Dongsheng realm will also rise. At that time, it will be more convenient to find the totem pole again. Relatively speaking, he is more inclined to believe that the Rat Demon King was killed by the other Demon Kings. Because the Rat Demon King's temper is very unpopular. Although he is not clear about the purpose of the gathering of many Demon Kings this time, it does not prevent him from making such a guess. In other words, no matter what the result is, it will be beneficial to him without any harm. Uncle is really wise. The two juniors tried their best to please him. They knew that if Whitebeard became the Demon King, they would be able to rise to the top. You learn more. When you reach our level, sometimes it's not strength that matters, but brains. Whitebeard was very pleased and said proudly, pointing to his temple. As Zuyun continued to go deeper, he finally found traces of living creatures. Obviously, there was nothing else except the Nightmare Demon. The light was very dim, so he could only quietly release his spiritual consciousness and squat down to check the footprints. He had never seen what the Nightmare Demon looked like, and when he fought with the Nightmare Demon King, the other party was always in human form. It should be a Nightmare Demon that has not yet formed a pill, so it can't transform into a human. So what is his purpose? Zuyun gently put his hand into the footprint, touching the concave outline, which felt like a horse hoof print. After thinking for a moment, he stood up. Nightmare demons are not scary, but they are good at using various strategies. Moreover, they have the lifespan of demon cultivators. The longer they live, the deeper their minds become. Zuyun could not guarantee whether these nightmare demons had all learned the 5 Elements Chaos Sutra. And the most important thing was, if they cultivated the same roots, could they concentrate the chaos power to deal with him? Chaos power itself has a characteristic. If it is converted into a single system, it can completely kill the enemy across levels. This was originally one of his trump cards, but at this time, Zuyun had to guard against the other party using it to hurt him. Hateful, if I knew that Antang was going to give the heavenly book to the nightmare demons, I would have changed it more no matter what. Zuyun cursed inwardly, got up, and continued to go deeper. Not far in front of him, several barely perceptible figures ran away under the cover of darkness. Obviously, these were nightmare demons. However, they were still nightmare demons of low realm. They were less than 100 steps away from Zuyun. Hurry up and inform the Demon King of the news. Several nightmare demons communicated in their unique way without making any sound. But there is news that the Demon King is furious and no one dares to disturb him. What should we do? The human race has come, and they are quite powerful. How should we deal with them? The Demon King said to kill them. How about we use the heavenly book together? After all, the powers can be mixed together. Let's see the situation first. We are still too few in number. When we encounter more sentries, about 100 people will be enough. That's it. Before the human race finds us, let's gather quickly. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I started my cultivation by picking up the immortal skills. Author, Banzuan Xianxia. Chapter 819. Zuyun did not find them. Because he was afraid of the insidiousness of the Nightmare Clan and did not know this place, he not only did not release his spiritual consciousness, but also did not take the initiative to sense the surrounding environment. This also led to the Nightmare Clan in front of him being prepared and gathering more and more. On the other hand, the Rat Clan Demon Kings who came along the corridor here were very fast because they had no scruples and regarded this place as the remains of their ancestors. Under such circumstances, I believe that they will be able to catch up with Zuyun in a short time. However, their movements were not small. When the distance was only more than 20 or 30 miles, this movement was discovered by Zuyun. Not good, the footsteps are so fast and dense. Could it be that the Nightmare Clan came from the corridor on the other side? Zuyun inevitably thought so. He wanted to hide, but there was no place to hide in this corridor. Fortunately, he had the earth escape technique. Zuyun's mind moved, and he hid his body in the earth. As the spiritual power moved, it was naturally discovered by the nightmare monster in front. Did the human race discover something and use magic? I feel the fluctuation of spiritual power, the earth's spiritual power, extremely pure. One of the nightmare monsters said cautiously. Some of them have practiced the 5 Elements Chaos Sutra and are extremely sensitive to spiritual power. Naturally, they discovered a trace of spiritual power surge when Zuyun used the earth escape technique. It's possible, otherwise why would this human race suddenly stop chasing? The other nightmare monsters also agreed. Otherwise, how to explain Zuyun's action? And their realm is much lower than Zuyun, and they can't hear the movement of the rat monster kings behind them for the time being. Under such circumstances, these nightmare monsters also slowed down. There must be something wrong when things are abnormal. Zuyun suddenly used magic, so of course they would be careful to deal with it. The distance between those rat monster kings and them is getting closer and closer. But the nightmare monsters are gathering more and more. Not only are there more people, but there are also more monster cultivators with higher realms. At this time, the demon control holy mountain is silent. Yao Wuxi has entered the demon refining tower. To be precise. The moment he saw the demon refining tower again, he was greedy and even tried to refine the demon refining tower. After the battle between the two realms, Yao Wuxi thought that the demon refining tower was an ownerless thing, and as a peak of the late nascent soul, he was already the highest level of the Peepa realm. He thought that ordinary cultivators could refine the demon refining tower, let alone him. So, After the demon refining tower fell into the demon control holy mountain, Yao Wuxi broke into the demon refining tower without hesitation. And this just happened to be what Evil Thought wanted. After escaping from the demon moon forest in Yasha realm, he flew along the Peepa realm. Because he was afraid of being caught up by a group of demon cultivators, he did not stop halfway. It was not until he found Yao Wuxi alone in the demon control holy mountain that he chose to land. When he thought that he still needed to use some tricks, he did not expect that Yao Wuxi would take the initiative to enter it. This surprised Evil Thought. At this time, Yao Wuxi was sent to the 9th floor of the demon refining tower under the control of Evil Thought. Unlike Xiu'er had little effect on Evil Thought. The power and vitality that a Jindan stage can provide are far beyond the reach of Yao Wuxi. What did you say? All the sects in the entire Peepa realm have closed the mountain. Evil Thought stood by the black pool, looking at Yao Wuxi in disbelief. He had already thought about devouring Yao Wuxi, but before that, he wanted to get some information about the major sects in Peepa realm from Yao Wuxi. For example, which sect has the most Yuanying stage, which sect has the weakest strength, and their locations. Unexpectedly, Yao Wuxi threw him a heavy news. Yes, yes. Yao Wuxi was even more unbelievable. Since he entered the demon refining tower, he was controlled by the inexplicable power in the demon refining tower, and then appeared on the 9th floor. He had no power to resist at all. How could he not be afraid? How could this happen? Evil Thought's eyes became extremely cold. Even if he wasn't looking at Yao Wuxi at this moment, he felt a chill. I can't just surrender. This demon cultivator is very strange, and his realm is not as high as mine. He must have had some bad luck to get control of the demon refining tower. I think it's because he killed Zhu Feng before. If I find a chance to kill him, it will be a blessing in disguise. Yao Wuxi had no choice, and he even told himself subconsciously. Damn it, Evil Thought was very angry. He originally thought that no one in the entire Peepa realm knew the situation of the demon refining tower. If he fell from the sky and caused anomalies, it would definitely attract these greedy righteous cultivators to swarm in, just like Yao Wuxi, and he didn't need to spend any thoughts at all. Who knew that all the sects had closed the mountain? Having taken over Matai's body, he naturally knew what closing the mountain meant. Could it be that he had to go to Dongsheng realm in advance? The Evil Thought looked at Yao Wuxi deeply. Devouring only him alone would not help him much at this stage. He simply shook his hand, as if to vent his anger, and threw Yao Wuxi to the 1st floor. Moreover, through his control over the demon refining tower, he blocked the light gate from the inside to the outside of the demon refining tower. From now on, you can only enter the demon refining tower, but not leave. Yao Wuxi was about to make a move, and he felt a flash in front of his eyes, and he appeared on the 1st floor. He was stunned at first, but then ecstatic. Compared with the previous idea, if he could escape, who would choose to fight this person to death? After discovering the power that suppressed his body, Yao Wuxi quickly stood up and looked around. Unfortunately, he had no idea of Evil Thought's plan, and it was impossible for him to get out. Unless the demon refining tower changed its owner. Go find the exit, and then help. Yao Wuxi's eyes flashed with brilliance, and after determining a direction, he ran away. Evil Thought didn't know what he was thinking, but after struggling for a long time, he knew that staying in Peepa realm was a waste of time. If he couldn't devour a large number of cultivators, then he couldn't control the demon refining tower 100%. He changed from a tower spirit to a tower master. Under such circumstances, he couldn't easily get complete control of the demon refining tower. Moreover, without the tower spirit, if he left the demon refining tower, his control would be sharply reduced. Indeed, the ability he showed in the tower had completely surpassed Zhu Feng. But in fact, when he left the demon refining tower, the help the demon refining tower provided to him was far less than that of Zhu Feng. The road ahead is long and arduous. It seems that we can only go to Dongsheng realm. There are countless demon kings in Dongsheng realm, and they don't know that this is an existence that can devour them. After searching through Matai's memory, the evil thought decided to directly skip Peepa realm and go to Dongsheng realm. Although there are barriers between the two realms. But being in the tower, it is unlikely to encounter too much resistance. Under this situation, the demon refining tower took off from the demon control holy mountain again and flew straight eastward. And in the deepest part of the cloud layer, a sharp gaze has been firmly locked on the direction of the demon refining tower. It's a Niao. In fact, 1 month after deciding to leave the island outside the ancestral land of the dragon clan, a Niao had already reached Yasha realm. At that time, he was still above the demon moon forest, feeling the strange feeling given to him by the demon refining tower. At that time, the evil thought was not in the tower, so the breath was a little strange, which made a Niao a little unsure for a while. But when the evil thoughts entered the tower, it was too late for a Niao to regret. He was not afraid of the evil thoughts. He was afraid of the restrictions of the demon refining tower on him. If he went in again, he would most likely be refined into a tower spirit by the evil thoughts. This would instead boost the strength of the evil thoughts, which was not what he wanted to see. I can stop the evil thoughts by dying. But I can't make the evil thoughts come true by dying. In desperation, he could only follow the demon refining tower while waiting for the opportunity. He had recognized that Matai was actually the body of the evil thoughts. As long as he dared to come out of the demon refining tower again, a Niao would fall from the sky without hesitation. The demon refining tower is an ancient treasure, and once it flies, the speed is also quite fast. For a Niao, this speed is not surprising, he can easily keep up. But for the Yologo demon sect and others, it was getting farther and farther away, and the Yologo demon sect was still constantly looking for the righteous sects, all in the same situation. Seal the mountain. It was not until they caught up with the demon control holy mountain that they discovered the clues. The demon control holy sect did not close the mountain. And on the top of their mountain, there were traces of the base of the demon refining tower. The entire sect is gone. Yu Tangzi's eyes shone with brilliance. There was no doubt that she attributed the absence of the demon control holy sect to the evil thoughts. I started my cultivation by picking up the immortal skills. Author, Banzuan Xianxia. Chapter 820. After that, they no longer found traces of the demon refining tower, and had no choice but to pursue in this direction. In this direction, the largest sect is Haoshan sect. After being rejected by the Haoshan sect again, they decided not to notify the other sects, but to go directly to the border between the two realms. They have to find a way to notify the news to Dongsheng realm. After working with Zuyun and Yaoanggu to guard the demon refining tower in the demon moon forest, Zuyun took the initiative to tell the two forces about some things about the demon refining tower. This made Yu Tangzi somewhat guess the evil intention. The natural restriction on the demon clan makes the demon refining tower like a fish in water in Dongsheng realm. The original devouring demon sect would have kept some monsters in captivity for the disciples to practice. Go to Dongsheng realm, find low-level demon cultivators, and find a way to spread the news to Dongsheng realm. It's best to let them hide. If I remember correctly, the border between Peepa realm and Dongsheng realm should be the two major demon tribes, the ancestral land of the rat tribe. Maybe ordinary demon cultivators from the rat tribe can pass through the barrier and come to the Peepa realm. Most of the information about Dongsheng realm comes from Huchang. This is a helpless move and the best way at the moment. A group of demon cultivators, led by Yu Tangzi, set out with all their strength and rushed towards the border of Dongsheng realm. Underneath the nightmare demon ancestral land, Zuyun hid in the corridor, and the demon cultivators from the rat tribe finally ran from above his head towards the depths of the corridor, and only then did he realize that the movement behind them was not chasing him. After all the rat demon kings passed by, he came out from under the ground, followed them quietly with the secret of immortality. Through these chattering remarks of the Rat Clan Demon King, he understood the general process. You actually think this is the relic of their ancestors? You are really stupid. Zuyun cursed secretly in his heart, but still chose to let things develop. For him, it is better to let these Rat Demon Kings take the lead if he always walks vigilantly. Since the Rat Demon King appeared here and learned that Whitebeard had not come, he already knew that both he and these Demon Kings were being used by Whitebeard. Zuyun is kind-hearted, but it does not mean that he is a great person. If there is no threat to him, he will tell the other party to let him go depending on the situation. But these rats? No need. And what their words reflect is that they want to find their destiny and gain immortality. Destiny, can it be found underground? Childish. Dongsheng realm is so big, there are really all kinds of birds. Zuyun sneered in his heart and followed behind, but little did he know that hundreds of nightmare monsters had already gathered in front of him. Moreover, after discovering that the intruder behind him changed from a human race to dozens of demon kings, he was also shocked and ran away like crazy. This undoubtedly helped Zuyun attract attention, and at the same time, it also attracted all the targets that the nightmare demon wanted to deal with. Rat Clan, the Rat Clan is here. Demon King, there are so many Demon Kings. Hurry and find our Demon King. These mice are so fast, they can move so fast in their holes. These nightmare monsters were frightened. The farther away from the center of the ancestral land, the weaker the strength of these nightmare monsters. If they want to find the Demon King, they will have to attack for at least several hours. But just as they said in panic, the Demon King of the Rat Clan was several times faster than them. Soon, the fastest Demon King caught up with the slowest nightmare demon. There's someone in front of us. Let's catch him first. The Rat Demon King who spoke looked extremely excited. Unexpectedly, there are still people among the ancestors' ruins. Are you the guardian of the ruins? However, these guardians are too weak. After leaving one clan member behind, all the nightmare monsters in front ran away. The Rat Demon King did not continue to pursue, and the frenzied pursuit relatively subsided due to caution. Blind pursuit is not of much use. On the contrary, now that I have captured a guardian, I might be able to get some information from them. Therefore, all the Rat Demon Kings stopped. This made Zuyun almost unprepared and plunged into the butt of the Rat Demon King at the back. Who are you and why are you among the ruins of our ancestors? The Rat Demon King who caught the nightmare demon shouted loudly on purpose. And this nightmare monster, originally thought that he would die, but after hearing the question from the Rat Demon King, his heart became alive. You also know that this is a ruin, why do you still break in? If I hadn't seen that you are from the rat tribe, we, the demon guards in charge of this place, would definitely kill you. Nightmare's acting instinct is engraved in his bones. And the darkness in the corridor also concealed the fear on the face of the nightmare demon, so he didn't cheat. Our descendants can naturally enter the relics of our ancestors. A Rat Demon King on the side said, on the other hand, since you recognize that we are from the Rat Demon clan, why don't you stop and tell us about the situation here? Do you want to stick to your own theft? Impossible. How could our ancestors do such a thing after receiving the favor from the ancestors of the Rat tribe? How did you find this place? Seeing that the Rat Demon Kings made no other moves, the Nightmare Demon slowly relaxed and gradually entered the state. He was full of nonsense, but no one could find any doubts. Only Zuyun, who was hiding at the back, kept sneering in his heart. Nightmare is indeed a born liar. If he hadn't known that this was the ancestral land of the Nightmare Demon, even he might have believed it. The reason why these Rat Demon Kings did not think about the Nightmare Demons is that these Nightmare Demons have practiced the 5 elements of Chaos Sutra and have lost the sour and rancid smell from their bodies. Moreover, he also discovered the biggest problem from the mouths of the Demon Kings. They have never seen what the body of the nightmare monster looks like. Presumably, the nightmare demon is active in the East Sheng realm and has always been walking in human form. After all, they can transform into humans before they reach the realm of the Demon King. When meeting demon cultivators with insensitive sense of smell, they can pretend to be monks from the human realm. Maybe this is the reason why the demon cultivator is lukewarm towards the human race. Of course, it is also possible that the human race itself is cunning and deceitful, and is so kind to its fellow race, let alone the monster race. If Hu Chong and his group hadn't relied on medical skills to help the 12 demon clans in Dongsheng realm back then, I'm afraid it wouldn't have been so easy for him to walk this time. Valley Master, who doesn't look like much, but I have to say that he is the pioneer between the human race and the demon race. Zhu Yun couldn't help but sigh in his heart, and focused his attention on the front again. The captured nightmare demon had promised these rat demon emperors to take them to the center of the ruins, where they might be able to find some notes left by their ancestors. This response made these rat demon kings even more ecstatic. Zhu Yun, on the other hand, was very energetic and decided to follow through. He knew it was false. So naturally, this is the first step for the nightmare demon to kill the rat demon king. Soon, under the leadership of this nightmare demon, all the rat demon kings followed. Their steps were no longer as frantic as before, but became orderly. Obviously, they believed that records about destiny could be found in the notes left by their ancestors. However, there are many notes, and whoever finds them will be the demon king. Zhu Yun could only sneer in his heart and quietly follow them deep into the corridor. Under the deliberate intention of the nightmare demon, they slowed down, saying that they did not disturb the heroic spirits of their ancestors. In fact, it was just to delay time. Zhu Yun was willing to wait and see what the nightmare monster could do. It would be great if the nightmare demon emperor was also called out. After walking for a while, there was an intersection in the corridor. Instead of moving forward, he turned to the left. Starting from this intersection, there were gradually more and more forks in the road. The rat demon kings did not take note of the road. Apparently they felt that the so-called guard who led the way could not make any trouble at all. Or maybe they are relying on the fact that they have a large number of people and are powerful. They are all in the realm of demon kings. The group of demon kings who are considered to be the top of the Dongsheng realm are operating underground where they are familiar. They can fully use their advantages. Naturally, let down your guard. Only Zhu Yun kept an eye on it, quietly took out the chaos sword, and drew a mark in the corner of every intersection. For a long time, Zhu Yun discovered the problem. This nightmare took them on a detour. Zhu Yun's chaos sword touched a familiar mark. A sword mark made. At the same time, at the nightmare demon king's place in the center of the ancestral land, a nightmare demon king finally had the courage to approach. Demon king, a large number of rat demon kings have come to our ancestral land. Suddenly, the nightmare demon king raised his head, his eyes shining with light. He was worried about how to reactivate the totem pole, and here comes the rat demon king. Sleepy comes pillow. Warm reminder, if you find that clicking the next page will force you to jump to other websites, please use the chapter error or contact us at the bottom to inform us. We will handle it as soon as possible. Thank you for your understanding.